Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is a large UFO seen over Staten Island very recently. Let's see. Also have this older footage of a fleet of UFOs flying above Earth. Let's see. This is an analysis of the Tic Tac video done by this guy, Kevin Newth. I think that's how you say his name. Let's see. This is an interesting video of a couple TR-3Bs. You know, some people have said that this is a CGI, but I'm not convinced. Let's see. This is an old film footage from 1966 of a UFO over Catalina Island. You know, one of the many, if not thousands, of sightings near Catalina Island, which, I mean, to me would indicate there's most likely a base down there. Let's see, this is a great 40-minute video of Bob Lazar explaining how some of the propulsion systems in one of the UFOs that he studied works. I got this document. It's a J. Edgar Hoover UFO file. FBI was getting multiple reports of flying discs on the day of Roswell crash. Let's see, this is the Rockefeller UFO briefing document. And then last is this photo I found on Facebook. It's, I mean, I'm not too sure how old this is, but I'm going to say, 5 to 10,000 years old, or maybe older. But, it's showing fertilization and fetus development from the ancient past. So we'll take a look at that, and I want to have something to say about that. Let's see. Let's check this thing out here. What does it say? This is UFO was filmed 1,063.7 miles away over Staten Island on September 15th. The UFO does not look like a rocket launch. All right, let's check this out. Yeah, it could be. Let's see. Does it look like a rocket launch?
In the sky here. Wow, what is that over Staten Island? Oh no, low battery.
Oh, check that out. Did you see that? That, again, this is one of those UFOs where they're hiding in the infrared. So, yeah, you can't see this with your naked eye, but you can see it with the IR. Anyways, as much as I want to play, the link will be in the description. Go to this guy's disclosed screen, the Grim Reaper page. Check that out. Let's see. Let's take a look at this here.
As we come into across the Terminator, maybe we'll turn on one of the color cameras.
Copy that. I was waiting for the opening credits of Star Trek to go down the screen there.
Look at all that activity. Like, I think some of these are these giant, like bovine type organisms that live in low Earth orbit. And then I think these are crafts that are leaving the planet. And I'm also think that this is also in the infrared. So, stuff like this is happening above our heads right now, right as we're speaking. There's a whole bunch of activity over our heads, and most people are just completely unaware. Anyways, let's check out this video here. This is Flight Characteristics of UAP by Kevin Newth. 29-minute presentation on the flight characteristics of UAP. Let's see, let's check some of this out here.
Why do people hypothesize that these things are spacecraft? And the answer is quite simple. These things are moving as fast as spacecraft move. So the New Horizons probe was one of our fastest probes ever. And these Tic Tac objects had to be moving at least those speeds to be able to perform the maneuvers that we see. Now, what's shocking about this, even more shocking, is the fact that there's no energy deposition when these things decelerate or stop. So
anyways, this is as much as I want to play. Again, I want to make a comment about all of these people who have been studying these crafts. I mean, they keep telling you, oh, they go in the water. They come out of the water, and they go into space. We track them coming from space, and they go into the water. And I just don't understand how all of these people can't make that additional assumption or conclusion that the reason why they keep coming out of the ocean and keep going back into the ocean is because that's where they live. Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe some people just are afraid to come to that conclusion, and maybe they just don't want to vocalize it because it's just going to turn their world, their belief system completely upside down. I mean, it did mine, when I first came to that realization, but I got over it. But anyways, let's go on to this other. Yeah, now this video here, this is kind of, I don't know. Yeah, people have said that this is CGI, but I mean, if this is CGI, that's really good. It looks like natural camera shake to me. Let's see. Eventually, these things fly apart. You see, and I think one of them goes in. I think that one little one that goes inside of it. Anyways, link to this will be in the description. Let's see. This is classic Catalina Island 66 analysis, better footage. Now there are literally thousands of reports of crafts around Catalina. People have been seeing UFOs coming in and out of the water that live in Santa Monica since the 1950s. And again, I don't understand why it doesn't dawn on people. They're not coming from space. Yeah, they go into space and they come from space, which means, there must be some type of activity going on out there. I wonder if it's commerce or something, what kind of, what are they trading? What are they going out there? And another thing is, I don't think in the same way, we as a society, only certain individuals are trained and qualified to fly fighters or, cruise around in the atmosphere. I'm pretty sure it must be the same thing for our neighbors. Not everyone in their civilization has the ability to get into these, faster than light anti-gravity crafts and, cruise around and check us out. I think, only certain designated sector or individuals within those cultures are also given the privilege or the opportunity to fly around in the crafts and check us out. Anyways, here this is a great 40-minute video. Bob Lazar talking about and he talks about how like here in this, how we generally think about traveling. You go from point A to point B, but he's just check this out.
We know that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, so in our universe, we've always assumed that the fastest way from point A to B was to travel in a straight line at the speed of light. Well, the fact is that when you're dealing with space-time and you enjoy the capability of generating an intense gravitational field, the fastest way from point A to B is to distort or warp or bend the space-time between point A and B, bringing point A and B closer together. The more intense the gravitational field, the greater the distortion of space-time and the shorter the distance between points A and B.
Anyways, he talks about that, and then he explains how in that Sportster model that he had researched, let's see if I can find this. Oh yeah, here he talks about this is a small nuclear reactor. This is element 115, and he talks about how protons, they bombard this element 115 with protons. It converts into element 116, which disintegrates into antimatter, I think it is. And anyways, he explains all this. And then all of that energy is channeled through this and then around the craft. And then, somehow he explains how these crafts are literally able to wrap the space, called time space, whatever, wrap the space around them like a cover. And, and that's why we don't see them, because they basically wrapping the space around them. And then, we can't see them. They're bending the light and stuff like that. But anyways, great video. Gets into how the sports the UFOs work and things like that. But interesting video. Check it out. Link will be in the description. Let's see. I found this document here. This is J. Edgar Hoover UFO 1 files. SBAG was getting multiple reports of flying discs on the day of the Roswell crash, July 7th, 1947. Let's see. On the 1st of July, 1947, Lieutenant William O. G. McGinty, or O. McGinty, USN, whatever, student, William Field, Chandler, Arizona, interviewed by this agent and stated in substance that on 30th June, 1947, at about 0910, he was flying at 25,000 feet over Grand Canyon, Arizona in an F-80 type aircraft. He stated that he was heading south towards Williams Field, Arizona, when he saw two round objects going at inconceivable speeds straight down. He further stated that his reactions were to turn away from the objects. Anyways, link to this will be in the description. But guys, this is 1947, right? Again, our government has been lying to us. They continue to lie to us. They're not going to reveal this because I think they're afraid of losing control or something, or or maybe these guys are telling them, because there's no way that that this highly advanced species doesn't play a role in our politics or in the development of our civilization. Anyways, a link to this will be in the description. Let's see. Yeah, this is the famous Rockefeller UFO briefing document. Throughout the 1990s, billionaire philanthropist Lawrence S. Rockefeller sponsored and funded a number of UFO-related projects. This has come to be known as the Rockefeller UFO Initiative, since in some cases they went beyond funding and included an actual lobbying effort to the Clinton White House undertaken by Rockefeller himself and his lawyer Henry Diamond. In the early and mid-90s, this writer became actively involved in one of these Rockefeller projects, which resulted in a book-length report titled Unidentified Flying Objects Briefing Document, the best available evidence, finished in December 1995. All right, and again, here's Unidentified Flying Object Briefing Document. This book has been available since 1995, and there's still a bunch of you mindless sheep out there crying about disclosure. Oh, just wait till the government discloses. No, you dumb fucks. These guys are never going to disclose. Disclosure it's a small d disclosure. There's never going to be any head of state that comes out and says, hey, we're not alone. That is not going to happen. Disclosure is happening as it's happening right now, with information like this coming out on, websites like this and douchebags like me coming out and making these videos. So anyways, check out this link. Now, I want to talk about this here. This was found at, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, temple at whatever that is. You can read that. Let's see. This is a fertilization fetus development. Now, I'm going to assume that this was carved into some stone wall 5,000 to 10,000 years ago, or maybe even longer. But here's something to think about, okay? Let's say this was carved at minimum 5,000 years ago, right? Someone from 5,000 years ago is right now communicating with us, right? So their communications have lasted the test of time, right? Have passed the test of time. Imagine anything that we come up with. Would it be here 5,000 years from now? Imagine, our civilization, went through some cataclysmic impact, right? And all civilization just stopped, boom, right now. And then 5,000 years later, in the future, right, some alien civilization or any civilization lands on the planet. Everything that we've created at this point would be gone. Nothing would be available. Any piece of paper that we've written on would be gone, right? If anything on computers or on a CD would be, unless someone had electricity and knew how to, boot up a computer, right? We would never be able to communicate any of our knowledge to anyone 5,000 years later. We couldn't even, we're not even going to last 100 years, right? Most everything that we've built is not going to last 100 years if there was no one to maintain it. Yet these people had the presence of mind to carve something in stone so that we, so that the future they could communicate with the future. And they have. And yeah, so it's obvious. Yeah, this notion that the people in the past were primitive and less intelligent than us is complete bullshit. All right. Again, this is more evidence of highly advanced people, civilizations that did exist on the planet in the past. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I have more things like this. Take care.